Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Frama Panyi and the sign language interpreter is Hannah Olayanka. Let's begin with the headlines. President Tinubu releases 2 billion naira for immediate intervention to victims of Mokwa flood as Vice President Shettima visits community. Environmental experts raise concerns on impact of plastic waste on environment and human health. And U.S. President signs travel ban on 12 countries. Now, the federal government is retooling and re-engineering the finances of the country to give premium to infrastructural development. President Bola Tinubu stated this at the inauguration of the Lekki Deep Sea Port Road Section 1 in Lagos. President Tinubu says his administration is committed to all-round infrastructural development and enhancing the living standard of Nigerians. President Tinubu also promised even development across the nation.
I'm also pleased to report ongoing works on Cross Rivers and Akwa Ibom sections, and I've directed that more segments be designed and procured. Go ahead, do the job. The Trans-Saharan Trade Route, another visionary project, is advancing already. It will reconnect Calabar to Abuja via Ebonyi, Benue, Kogi, and Nasarawa.
When completed, the port will feature 3 operational sub-concessions for the container terminal, liquid terminal, and dry bulk terminal. The federal government has inaugurated the Inter-Ministerial Committee for the 2025 Democracy Day celebration, tasked with the responsibility of organizing a memorable and befitting Democracy Day anniversary and offer the opportunity to showcase the achievements of the present administration. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, represented by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, emphasized the importance of the commemoration of Democracy Day as an opportunity to reflect on the contributions and sacrifices of national heroes who fought for the democratic dispensation in the country. Activities lined up for the 2025 Democracy Day celebration are World Press Briefing on Friday, 6th June 2025, Special Jumu'at Service on Friday, 6th June 2025, and Church Service on Sunday, 8th June 2025. A youth program to be held on Tuesday, 9th June, and the presidential broadcast alongside parade is scheduled for Thursday, 12th June 2025, among other activities. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has released 2 billion naira for immediate intervention to victims of flood in Mokwa. Vice President Kashim Shettima disclosed this during on-the-spot assessment and condolence to the people and government of Niger State. Musa Mikhail has the details.
The visit by the Vice President Kashim Shettima to Mokwa was to condole with the people and government of Niger State on the last Thursday flood disaster that has so far claimed more than 160 lives. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, assured the people of Mokwa the federal government will build new homes through Akrisa for the affected victims, even as he called for partnership from both the state and local government.
With respect to the drainages in Mokwa town, the President has equally directed for an immediate intervention on the drainages in Mokwa town. On the relocation and reconstruction of homes for the affected victims, the President has authorized the immediate release of 2 billion naira to immediately commence the construction of homes destroyed by the disaster. Immediately we get back to Abuja, inshallah, I will authorize the MD of Niger Delta Power Holding Company to make arrangements for an 14 MVA transformer for Mokwa Town.
The social and economic life of our people have been completely cut off. We need a quick intervention. Quick intervention because state government cannot do it alone.
So we hope the federal government to look at this project with a view to fast-track the completion of this project.
Niger State government on its part will match worth to its action by ensuring that the people don't stay long in the internally displaced persons camp. The event also witnessed the distribution of food items donated by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. Musa Mikhail, NTA News.
And in response to the devastating Mokwa flood incident, the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and Hypertech has provided relief materials for victims of the natural disaster. Acting Managing Director of the Commission, Jimoh Haruna, who led a delegation to commiserate with the victims, promised continued support. Fatima Aliyu reports.
The visit by the management of Hypertech to Mokwa was majorly to address the urgent critical humanitarian needs of the survivors of the May 28 flood disaster, which claimed lives and property. Hypertech, led by its acting managing director, Jimoh Haruna, supported the victims with relief materials ranging from beddings, treated mosquito nets, life jackets, food items to toiletries. This is in addition to the donation of 5 million naira to cushion the effects of the natural disaster.
The management of the commission met. We are at the verge of rolling out medical outreaches to communities of Hypertech to see how we can actually intervene in form of provision of basic medical needs. I'm sure we'll be able to hasten the process and then deploy medical outreach in this community.
The visit was also an opportunity to sensitize the people on the impending flood predictions by the NIMET and the need to take necessary precautionary measures. Fatima Aliyu, NTA News.
In talking environment now, Nigeria, a country rich in biodiversity, faces a significant ecological challenge: plastics. This is because an estimated 2.5 million tons are said to be generated annually in Nigeria. However, on a day when the world unites against the pervasive issue of waste management, a global crisis with profound local implications, spotlight is on ending plastic pollution. Charles Alpha reports.
An estimated 2.5 million tons of plastic generated. Yet, the reality is less than 12% is recycled, leading to widespread environmental degradation and alarming public health concerns. The reason why this World Environment Day 2025, a global initiative aimed at raising awareness and promoting action for the protection of the environment, is prompting urgent solutions.
We must go further, faster. Together, let's end the scourge of plastic pollution and build a better future for us all.
In 2018 alone, Nigeria reports revealed discharged approximately 200,000 tons of plastic waste into the ocean, rating it among the top 20 global contributors to marine debris. This alarming trend is largely fueled by the dominance of single-use plastics, particularly for food, water, and sanitary purposes.
The day is one of the days we're calling on different people to rethink how we use, reduce, and recycle plastic, and most importantly, think about alternative solutions.
Plastics clog drainage system, exacerbating flooding and devastating marine ecosystems. But Nigeria is not idly standing by, as it joins the world on this day for a collective global effort to end plastic pollution. The cornerstone of its response is the National Policy on Plastic Waste Management of 2021. This comprehensive policy aims to reduce plastic waste and pollution, promote sustainable practices, limit single-use plastics, encourage recycling and reuse, and champion a circular economy where plastics are designed for the 5 R's: reduce, reuse, repair, recycle, and recovery.
One of the key recommendations of that policy is that Nigeria needs to ban some categories of plastics, particularly those ones that we call on-the-go plastic, those plastics that you use once and throw away. And that is the background for the memo that we push to the Federal Executive Council. And the Federal Executive Council generously approved that memo.
On this World Environment Day 2025, Nigeria's journey towards a plastic-free future is a testament of its commitment to environmental stewardship. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Now, Nigerians must rise to the challenge of protecting the environment by changing how they consume packaged food items and dispose plastic containers and bags. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, stated this in her message marking this year's World Environment Day as she joins millions around the world to call for urgent united action towards safeguarding the environment. She describes the theme for the celebration, Ending Plastic Pollution, as apt, noting that unsafe disposal of plastic waste has become one of the most pressing environmental challenges of our time, affecting health, environment, and future. Addressing the youths in particular, the First Lady says they are the leaders of tomorrow, and as such, all have a role to play in creating a cleaner, healthier, and greener Nigeria, be it in schools or within their neighborhoods. Now, the African Union Commission says remarkable efforts have been made across the continent to strengthen the resilience of people and communities against disaster risk. Commissioner of Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment at the African Union Commission, Moses Vilakati, said this in an interview with the NTA. Let's now join our correspondent, Mina Daniels, in Geneva, Switzerland, who had an exclusive session with the AUC Commissioner.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency Moses Vilakati, for this wonderful opportunity to discuss with us on the 8th session of the GP. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this important interview.
Well, as you know, disaster risk reduction and management cannot really be achieved without localizing the mechanisms, to see to its success. So what concrete steps is the AUC taking, and how can the steps be scaled to ensure that early warning systems are accessible across cities, not just accessible, but tailored to the needs of the local communities?
The AU deals with policy issues for the various member states, and that is what it's about. And then the member states implement. So from the policy perspective, the African Union has developed the following policy instruments and strategies, one of which is called Institutionalize and Operationalize the Framework for Multi-Hazard Early Warning and Early Action System. This framework provides the guidelines for the development and operationalization of multi-hazard early warning systems in Africa. The other one is Africa Multi-Hazard Early Warning and Early Action Program, which seeks to increase accessibility and availability to multi-hazard early warning systems and disaster risk information. The other one also is termed the African Union Climate Change and Resilient Development Strategy and Action Plan. This one seeks to address long-term climate change impacts. There's also the Africa Urban Resilience Program, commonly called AURP, which is aimed at addressing urban hazards. There is also the CLIMSA program, which seeks to support climate information services value chain, because it's important that these value chains are understood.
You know that policy development is good, is key, is a starting point. But funding, implementation cannot happen without funding. And of course, you know that disaster risk financing is a major gap in Africa, especially for low-income, countries and climate vulnerable countries. So what mechanisms and partnerships, is the AUC, putting in place to ensure that there is a financing model in place and disaster preparedness is sure as well as climate resilience?
Yeah, indeed, the issue of financial gaps are there to make sure that all of these projects and programs can be enhanced. And as such, the AU is working with a number of key partners to support disaster preparedness, as well as climate resilience through policy and innovative strategies. And one of those strategies is to ensure that there is funding available for member states. Obviously, we're not going to meet all the member states at a go. We are starting with a few, and then we'll expand that program to all the member states. But also, the Commission is building the capacities of member states to develop what we term bankable proposals so that they can be able to access various streams of funding, because sometimes the capacities of our member states is lacking, such that they are not able to come up with bankable projects.
Traditional knowledge was one of the solutions that resonated with this ongoing conference. Yeah, traditional knowledge, and it remains a cornerstone, of risk awareness across the African continent. How, again, is the AUC partnering with the media to be able to, ramp up efforts in ensuring an effective early warning systems and a better coverage of the climate change situation?
I think we are lagging behind in terms of harnessing the benefits of traditional knowledge, including taking stock and documenting those best practices. Because with those best practices, we would be able to tell if there is going to be a storm without using the early warning systems. But that needs also to be augmented via the early warning systems that we are about right now. But the key here is, how do we take stock of the traditional knowledge from various countries, from various regions, and then document these best practices? The Commission also is looking at heightening advocacy and communication through member states, and would really appreciate the support of the media, because they're all over the place, to make sure that we can harness that and somehow stock it somewhere. So the media is really the key.
Right, Mina Daniels there, our correspondent with the AUC Commissioner Moses Velakate. You're watching the news on NTA International. We will take a break now. We will return with more news. Stay. Welcome back. President Donald Trump has signed a ban on travel to the United States from 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Haiti, and Iran. This is in a bid to protect Americans from dangerous foreign actors. Comfort Fashion has more.
I am signing a new executive order placing travel restrictions on countries including Yemen, Somalia, Haiti, Libya.
With effect from June 9th, citizens from 12 countries, namely Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Congo-Brazzaville, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen will no longer be allowed to travel to the U.S. And those from another 7 countries, which includes Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela, will be subject to a partial ban.
The strength of the restrictions we're applying depends on the severity of the threat posed. The list is subject to revision based on whether material improvements are made.
President Trump gave the sole reason for the travel ban affecting Congo-Brazzaville, Chad, Equatorial Guinea, Burundi, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, and Turkmenistan, for example, are the percentage of people overstaying their U.S. visa, as well as security concerns, are cited in the proclamation. The White House accuses Iran and Cuba of being a state sponsor of terrorism, saying there is a historical terrorist presence in Libya and calls Somalia a terrorist safe haven. Meanwhile, for Haiti, The proclamation says hundreds of thousands of illegal Haitian aliens flooded into the United States during the Biden administration, which it says harms American communities. The announcement of a travel ban comes as President Trump seeks to deliver on a campaign pledge for the mass deportation of migrants. And reports say rumors of a new Trump travel ban had circulated following the attack in Colorado, with his administration vowing to pursue tourists living in the United States on visas. Comforts, Fashion, NTA News.
And still on the U.S. travel ban, the African Union Commission has taken note of the recent proclamation by the government of the United States imposing new travel restrictions affecting nationals from several countries, including some on the African continent. While recognizing the sovereign right of all nations to protect their borders and ensure the security of their citizens, the African Union Commission respectfully appeals to the United States to exercise this right in a manner that is balanced, evidence-based, and reflective of the long-standing partnership between the U.S. and Africa. The AU Commission therefore urges the U.S. administration to consider adopting a more consultative approach and to engage in constructive dialogue with the countries concerned based on long-standing partnership between the United States and Africa. The Commission says it is ready to support efforts that promote understanding, resolve concerns, and strengthen cooperation between Africa and the United States. And about 1.5 million Muslims Thursday converged on the plain of Arafat, climaxing this year's Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Correspondent Jamilu Ibrahim takes a look at the significance of the spiritual outing with particular reference to the Nigerian contingent.
The 9th Dhul-Hijjah of the Islamic calendar is observed each year as Arafat Day, which climaxes the annual pilgrimage to Mecca.
The Prophet says, Al-Hajj Arafah. Actual Hajj is sealed by standing here. So if anybody misses this standing, it means automatically his pilgrimage is null and void.
This is the tent where more than 60,000 Nigerian pilgrims participating in this year's Hajj are camped to observe the day.
I feel fulfillment. I feel very, 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 very happy because this is what our Prophet Muhammad says, that Arafat is Hajj.
I feel so happy. I feel great. I feel great to Almighty Allah that make me to be here today to witness the Arafat Day.
I'm very happy, well, because it's more than 20 years I never come to Saudi Arabia.
The pilgrims are encouraged to maximally utilize the day in the remembrance of Allah and supplications, as all prayers said here are strongly believed to be answered.
So this place is the most important place in Hajj. So all the pilgrims are highly advised to concentrate on their prayers.
Our Prophet says, the base of all prayers is the one done here. Our leaders at the federal, state and local level, pray for them.
We have some state, they have a problem of security, especially Borno, Zamfara, Sokoto, and all over the country. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring peace in these states.
Meanwhile, most of Nigerian pilgrims have remained indoors in compliance with the safety protocols issued to that effect by the Saudi authority amid the scorching temperature. From the plain of Arafat in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Nigeria is currently developing a robust green methanol industrial complex, the highest in Africa, and is seeking Brazilian partnership in design, certification, and feedstock optimization for socio-economic development of the country. Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, confirmed this when the ambassador of Brazil to Nigeria, His Excellency Carlos Grasset, paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Methanol fuel is an alternative biofuel for internal combustion and other engines. According to the minister, methanol has chemical and physical fuel properties similar to ethanol, and current research now focuses on the use of sustainable marine fuel that will contribute to economic diversification of the country. A statement from the head of press of the ministry, Pauline Sule, says the minister pointed out that under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the ministry is driving reforms that will place innovation at the center of job creation, industrial growth, and national competitiveness for economic development. And Nigeria is among the 12 countries benefiting from the 46 million euros allocated for fish and aquaculture in Africa. 6 centers have been established in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Musa Baba Ali reports that the Ijebu Ode cluster has been rated the largest in catfish production in Africa.
This is Irewe Farm Village, situated in Ijebu Ode local government area of Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. This expansive farm, covering more than 150 hectares, is owned by the community and overseen by the Awujale of Ijebu Ode. It is recognized as the largest catfish producing community in West Africa, comprising over 40 clusters and engaging around 600 farmers who manage more than 4,000 fish ponds.
We have capacity to produce over 10,000 metric tons of fish per annum here. And yet, we are just, the maximum we have ever done was just a bit of 2,000 metric tons per annum.
To further enhance production capabilities, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, in collaboration with the European Union and GIZ, is working to develop farmers' skills and resources. The community is among the beneficiaries of a significant investment of 48 million euros aimed at advancing aquaculture across 12 African nations.
In each geopolitical region in Nigeria, we have a pilot state. Here in Southwest, we are in Ogun State. In South-South, we are in Delta State. In Southeast, we are in Anambra State. In Northwest, we are in Kano State. In North-Central, we are in Kwara State. Then in Northeast, we are in Gombe.
Oyinadema Fiu Adeneye, one of the participants in the FAO training program, shares that production costs are decreasing while the growth rate of the fish remains steady. From Ijebu Ode, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
That report by Musa Baba Aliyu concludes the news on NTA International. I am Frama Panyi, and Hannah Olayinka has been the sign language interpreter.